Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Inge. Thank you, everyone, for coming at this time. My name is Mario. I've been, in the past, my history is I came here 14 years ago to the Bay Area. I've worked for SAP for 15 years as a development manager, business intelligence, and other areas. I'm originally from Austria. And 2 years ago, I then took this topic that I had started at SAP and took it into a consulting business that I started, which is called gamification. And that's why we're here. We're here to learn today about gamification. Anyone remembers that computer here, that Commodore 64 exactly? That tells us your age right now, right here, yeah? So you can actually see that machine in the Computer History Museum, and that's my machine that I still have with my joystick and so on. So this is a photo session for a magazine. Now, I wanted to give you a little bit of an impression of why is this topic so important, and just to give you this is 2 weeks ago in Cologne at the Gamescom. The Gamescom conference is the largest video games conference in the world. It has 345,000 people attending there. That is larger than the CES, yeah, larger than the CeBIT. And the people that you see here, these are all people under 25. So the majority of people is under 25. I spoke about gamification in HR. They had one-way directions in these halls. So many people were that they had staggered opening times to get these people in within 6 days. People were waiting in this booth. This booth, Blizzard, were twice the size of the room at average, with large screens. People were waiting 4 hours, patiently, with good mood, just to play a new game for 10 minutes there, for 10 minutes. At the same weekend was in Seattle an electronic sports event where every day 10,000 people watched in the hall professional video gamers compete for 6 days. At the same time, 20 million people were watching them playing in streaming online, yeah, and they had prize money in the amount of $18 million. People, when you read the newspapers, nobody's talking about those things really. Yeah, this is totally out of mainstream, but this is not a niche. This is not a niche. This is mainstream, which is ignored by basically companies, media, people who are there. When I try to find really large media talking about that. So we're missing out here something. Yeah, we're missing the young generation. They have experiences in games that they're not finding at work, at life, whatever they're. Here's one of the popular games there. You won't believe that this is a company that creates simulators. One of the most popular games in Germany, yeah, that you have never heard of is Landwirtschaftssimulator, which is basically agricultural simulator. Yeah, you drive a harvester, a tractor. They look really like real life like this, and people played it for hours. Yeah, so just to give an impression about the kind of the urgency to understand more about games and the culture of games and how we apply it to work. Let's start with the video.
My sister and I played almost the exact same games in cars, except she had a long string sliced through all the man-made objects, all the signs, all the buildings, all the cars, but all the trees and hills and all the natural things, they were fine. My game, I envisioned Sam, an imaginary friend. He ran and jumped as fast as the car was going, or faster, and he never touched the ground. I think most people play these little semi-conscious fleeting games. take a moment and think about it. What games do you play? Just whatever you do, do not step in the lava!
I guess some of these games you recognize from your own childhood here. Maybe you've seen the tiles here. I'm not stepping on the cracks here. That's what I played with my brother back then as a toddler. This is a picture of a girl playing a video game. What do we see in her face? Give me something what you see. Huh? Excited? Intensity? Intensity, yeah, correct. What else? Huh? Focus. She's absolutely focused. Nothing can distract her at the moment, right? Is she successful? Is she enjoying that, what she's doing? Or is she like angry, or what do you think? Who thinks she's enjoying it? Okay. She's angry. Yeah, she's probably really this bitch here. Yeah, working on that. Is she successful? Is she winning? Is she losing? Who is for winning? Yeah. I would also say she's like beating the shit out of something. Yeah. Yeah. She's really here winning and enjoying that moment. Yeah. Is she relaxing? Does she look like she's relaxing? No, not at all. Yeah. She's totally working hard here. Yeah. So when we look at that, at her face, she is basically with all her emotions up here. She's her passion, her fun, her attention, her focus is here. Now think of somebody using business software or your website. Do they look like that? Yeah? They're looking bored, they're having their tongues hanging out and so on. Yeah. If you use business software, you're probably up down here. Yeah. And we need to understand what actually is it that gets her in the game up there, and in the business software we are down there. Can we get them up a little bit? Yeah? What is it? So this is a series of photographs done by Philip Toledano, a London-based photographer, and he has a complete series of that. So there's another gentleman here playing that. Same expression like the girl, but you see much better of how he is working hard because he's really sweaty in his face. What's the matter with this guy? Huh? He's losing? Yeah, yeah. Maybe not yet losing, he's trying. I think he's stuck somehow, and I think, how can I get out here? Yeah, so that's his thinking. What's with this guy? Motherfucker! Yeah, so he really lost at this moment. So he's really upset and angry about that. You think he's gonna walk out now and just throw this game in the trash and leave? I think he will try it again. Yeah, there's in the East Bay is Nicola Zaro. She's a game designer and researcher, and she interviewed gamers and their spouses. Yeah, so the one wife said, whenever he buys a game, and I don't hear anything, he plays the game. I know he doesn't like it. He plays it and yeah, but if he's cursing all the time, yeah, he really loves the game, and he buys the next. He buys the sequel. So let me ask you a question. What do you think is the average age of a video gamer? Is it 14? Is it 27? Is it 37? Or is it 54? So who is for 14? Raise your hands. Who is for 27? Who is for 37? And who is for 54? Okay. So if you were in the 37 category, you're right. This is the So let's discuss that. Let's discuss that. When we watch Hollywood movies, the stereotypical video gamer is the 14-year-old pimple boy, obese, sitting alone in his basement, yeah, without friends, yeah, in the dark, socially awkward, all these things. So 5 years ago, when I started talking about games and gamification in a social setting, yeah, I was very quickly alone, yeah, because that was kind of the last taboo that we had. Yeah, you're playing a video game, oh my God, yeah, yeah. In the meantime, we figure out that actually everyone is playing video games. Now, why do these 30s? Why are those bringing it to the average? 37 years old. Why do you think so? Let me ask the other question then, to help you a little bit. What was the first video game that was out on the market? Pong. Exactly, Pong. And when was that? Yeah, when? 72, actually, yeah, 1972. You can find in the Computer History Museum in Mountain View a Pong machine, one of those that stood in the bars with a wooden frame, actually, with a wooden box. So these kids, these guys, were not even born back then. So when they were born, they were exposed to video games all their life. This was here. It was just here. Like the kids that are born today, iPhone is here. Yeah, so that's normal. We all know the times before iPhone. We don't want to remember them, but we know those times. Yeah. Also, those guys are the ones who can buy console games and afford the $60, $70. Yeah, because the numbers that form that average age coming from the Entertainment Software Association, which look at this traditional video game market, yeah, of console games. But nowadays, we know, of course, we have a lot of mobile apps in the Apple App Store. The category of games, there are over 300,000 applications in there, 300,000 games. And many people wouldn't say that they are playing video games. They're just playing these little things, yeah, but that's a video game. 25% of all video gamers are actually above 50 years. Yeah. So those are the kids, those are the teenagers back then when Pong came out and these games, and they continued playing. 97% of all youth are playing video games. And they're playing so many video games that when they are coming into the workforce, when they're 20, 22, like these kids that we've seen at the Gamescom, they have played 10,000 hours of video games. What does 10,000 hours mean? They are experts, professionals, yeah? So 10,000 hours of deliberate practice means I really master my stuff. Bill Gates, when he founded Microsoft, at this point, he had already 10,000 hours of programming experience. When you play in the NFL or in a soccer team, you have practiced the sport 10,000 hours before you came in there. So those kids are coming in with 10,000 hours of video game experience, come to the workforce, and then there's nothing that gives them a similar experience. And those experiences, what those are, we will talk about. The percentage of women, it's not just a boys thing. Yeah, we see actually that even with console games, we have to be in equilibrium. We have around 52% male and 48% female. Depending on which country you ask it, there's always a similar number. In some areas, like social and mobile games, you have actually more women playing those games. So when you were at the Gamescom, you've seen all these girls there as well. Yeah, this was not just guys and dudes running around. No, there were so many girls. These are US soldiers serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're playing games. And the most popular games amongst the soldiers were Halo and Call of Duty. Now, what type of games are those? Military games, shooting games, right? Yeah, so let me translate that for you. Real soldiers serving in a real army, fighting a real war, come home in the barracks and tent camps and relax by serving as virtual soldiers in a virtual army fighting a virtual war. Yeah, I'm not sure about you, but when I come home, I'm not calling some customers to relax. Yeah? Yeah. So I had in my talks, do workshops. I've done over 100 workshops on gamification and given talks about this topic. So I had veterans, military veterans in my, and there was one workshop 2 years ago was a lady. She was at 4 tours, and one tour was in Afghanistan, where she told me 6 to 8 weeks out there, they were in a remote outpost in Afghanistan, didn't have electricity. And once they got the diesel generators, the first things they hooked up on the electricity grid were the Xboxes. Yeah, not anything else for cooking. Okay, so let's watch a video. a gamified marketing campaign, yeah, that we've seen here. And we learn more about what the elements are in order to understand it better. So what is gamification? Is this gamification? This is actually a video game, yeah. So that's not gamification, yeah. So that's Angry Birds. Is this gamification? What is that? LinkedIn, right? Do you think that's a gamified system? So I did an analysis of that, yeah, of all the game design elements that are in LinkedIn, and that is what I came up with, yeah. And that was over a year ago. In the meantime, they added more of those. And I'll give you an example. So the first time you log into create a profile in LinkedIn, you then afterwards see something like 40% of your profile is complete, and you think, how can I get this to 100%? Yeah, and then you share more information, and you get to 55 and 60, and share even more information and do like that. Gamification is nothing else than trying to nudge people into certain behaviors, to change behaviors, to do things faster, earlier, in a timelier manner, or more of it. And in this case, this community lives from the data that you give, that you enter there about yourself. And if everyone does that, it becomes more valuable for everyone involved. Amazon is another gamified system. Yeah? You may remember, you look for a book, and then it says, only 3 items left in stock. And you're sitting here, oh damn, if I'm not buying my book right now, somebody else will buy my book. Yeah? And so people, 30–40% more of them are buying faster than they normally would. You see the same technique being used in orbits and travel websites when there is only 2 seats left. 5 people are just at the moment looking at this room. Yeah? Then you get really this time pressure, and which is an element to do something. Another video. And those French people, right? Let's analyze that video a little bit to see where gamification comes in and how it works. We are here in Paris. Evening, apparently summer. People are walking around, probably had some good dinner, yeah, relaxing, just strolling on the street. And then they see something, and what is that? Bikes, yeah, stationary bikes in pink colors. Did you see somebody there with a book, with a 60-page manual telling them, read through that, and then you... No. There was a familiar user interface, so people had a smooth onboarding. They could sit down and do something. Now, next stage. What happened then, once they started pedaling? We saw light, correct, yeah, so we got actually visual feedback that came in there, yeah. We got audio feedback by the music playing. People, once they realized there comes this light up there, oh, the others jumped on these bikes as well. And then, what happened then? You saw this character, this person there, and then they had a goal, right? What was the goal? get the guy naked, right? That's what you wanted to say, yeah? Did they succeed with that? Did they get him naked? Really? Did they get him naked? You're shaking your head? No, why not?
No, he wasn't naked. He had a little sign.
Right, exactly. We didn't see the crown jewels, right? That's what you wanted to say, right? Yeah. But they reached another goal, and this other goal was what? Losing 2,000 calories. Now, let's roll back that whole thing. The people walk on the street, and you're standing there, hey, you want to lose 2,000 calories? Fuck off. I just had good dinner. I'm not doing anything there. Yeah? Although we know, as an intrinsic motivation, I should be fit, I want to be fit, and all this kind of stuff. But they used an indirect goal by giving this stripper up there and having this goal of getting him undressed. They reached this goal. Of course, there's a third goal that we also achieved. Namely, that was a mineral water brand that wanted to promote its bottles, yeah, its water. And they were so successful, this was a viral video, that they in the end expanded into markets that they had not been before. There were no badges, there were no points that you normally hear about gamification. This was more a story with goals, and these people worked together. They came as individuals, but left as a group. So what is gamification? When we look at gamification and games and work, we see that there are actually a lot of things similar. We have tasks, feedback, goals, path to mastery, rules, information, and a lot of other things as well. But you know, when we look at tasks, I play Angry Birds. Everyone knows Angry Birds. How does Angry Birds work? Yeah. So we slingshot a bird to kill some pigs. Don't ask me why. There's a story behind that. But from your perspective, that looks always like that, right? That's a very repetitive and stupid looking task that I do. But from my side, it's a lot of fun. Now imagine yourself doing that, click, click, click on an Excel sheet. Yeah, that's really stupid and not fun. Or feedback. What is the feedback that I get? What is the feedback that I get when I play Angry Birds? How do I know that I'm doing well? The points. Who plays Angry Birds for points? Destroying the pig. But this is not the feedback, this is a goal, yeah? Sound, audio feedback, correct. So you hear the screeching of the leather, you hear the birds chirping, you have this the pigs trash talking when you're not winning, and they're trash talking you, yeah? What was it? The image, the visual feedback, yeah? So you get this explosion, stuff falling off, there you see these effects. That is nice, yeah? What is the audio feedback that I get in the business software? Anyone ever noticed? Is there audio feedback in business software?
Only when I get an email.
Only when you get an email, when there's something has to do, yeah, that's more annoying, or when you did something wrong. It says, you did something wrong, yeah? But it never said, ka-ching, good job, yeah? Great, you created a new account, hurrah, yeah? So that's not what you get normally, yeah? Or even worse, you get maybe once a year feedback at your performance feedback meeting. Yeah, that's it. Basically, you learn 9 months later how well you did on your project that you finished in March. Yeah, this is like you play Angry Birds and you learn only 3 months later that you killed the pigs. I do not know how I did it. I cannot learn of that, and I don't care at this moment anymore. Yeah. And now you have the kids coming into the workforce who have experiences that actually give them right away feedback, and they can fail and they can go on and try again. And then we force them onto an annual performance feedback. Or the last one that I want to talk about is promotion. Yeah? In a game, I always know kind of how I can move forward and get to the next level. And then I see somebody in level 70, and but I also know I can go there, even if I may not know how exactly right now because I'm level 30. Yeah? Do you know how you become a VP or a software architect? Is there something like that in your company? Or do you know how this guy got up at this position? Yeah? No. Yeah? I'm wondering too, how did that asshole get up there? Yeah? It's not transparent. There's not really a way, an objective way or public, transparent way to see that. Is it sell 10 millions of license and then you will be promoted to a VP? Or have this downloaded, this document 10,000 times, and then you will become a senior software architect? No, there's nothing like that. So it's completely intransparent. I need to kiss up, yeah, intestine acrobatics, as the Germans say, or maybe I also do a little bit of good work. Yeah. So now there's some more words that I need to define. We distinguish between play, games, serious games, simulations, and gamification. A play is when a boy takes a break and pretends this is a car. This is spontaneous, there are no rules, there are no goals, no income can be made out of that. A game, on the other hand, is like Monopoly. There are rules, there are goals, it's structured, there are players, yeah? But there's also no real world outcome. A millionaire in Monopoly is not a millionaire in real life. Serious games are like games, but with a different purpose. They're not so much entertaining. A game is always aiming at entertaining, but serious game aims at teaching a skill. Simulations are pictures of the real world, like a flight simulator, for example, and it can become playful. Playful in the way that I say, now that you know how to fly the plane, there's another plane that you have to shoot it down, and then you have this challenge. Yeah? And gamification now is by using game design elements that we have from these other things and put that into a non-game system like Amazon, like LinkedIn. Yeah? And we do have a real-world outcome because it's immediately effective in the system and it is also in the system. So here's an overarching picture, in-system examples, yeah, out-system examples, and then normally games are finite. The end after a winning condition is reached. Soccer after 90 minutes, yeah. Chess after you catch the king, yeah, or after a certain winning condition enters. While LinkedIn has no end, Amazon has no end. It goes on infinitely. Now here's some elements like the progress bar. This is one element. Or you have avatars here. Or things, you know, Waze, this is like Google Maps on steroids. It was actually bought by Google. So when you drive around, these are the other people using this application. And by turning it on, this application, you report also how fast you can drive. So is there traffic jam or not? And because it was Easter, at around Easter time, there were rabbits and candy and other things there. And when you drive over that, you earn more points, which allow you to dress up your character. Then there are virtual goods that are in games. This is a leaderboard, which is a game design element. This is, for example, from a German newspaper on the Olympics, with the Olympics medals. You have badges. You have avatars that you dress and modify, customize for yourself. In some games, actually, you know, I got Skyrim for Christmas once, and it took me 20 minutes to decorate my avatar to get me to the fucking game, yeah, let me just go over that. Now, for some people, they never get to the game, yeah. Teenage girls keep spending the time dressing these avatars. And then they save them and start again with a new avatar. So motivations, as you see, can be very different. Or then you can use non-digital things, for example, Lego pieces to use as project management, yeah? Or paper cutouts. Or if you go to Alameda, on the other side of the bay, you have the USS Hornet, an aircraft carrier. That aircraft carrier was commissioned in 1942, built by women, was in the big battles in the Pacific, and in 1969 picked up Apollo 11 and Apollo 12 astronauts from the ocean. And they have a leaderboard here. Shot down airplanes, sunk ships, yeah, killed tanks, I don't know what else, yeah. Or here you have a lamp switch that turns, if you keep the light too long on, turns it from a friendly ghost face to an angry ghost face. And this is for kids who are then going there, oh, the ghost is getting angry, so I have to turn it off, yeah. And this way they are saving energy through a playful way. There are more elements like that. In total, there are probably 200 we have on our wiki, currently 80 listed. but there are probably 200. So whenever people are talking about gamification, it's just slapping points on something, yeah? That's just one out of 200 game design elements. So there's so much more that you can use to motivate people. Those motivators that we're talking about are intrinsic or extrinsic. Extrinsic is basically, I give you candy if you clean up your room, yeah, I promise you $500 if you finish that report, yeah. This is extrinsic, it comes from outside, this motivation. On the other hand, intrinsic is, I'm here today not because somebody sent me there and pays me to be here, but I'm here today because I really want to learn about that topic, yeah. Or I have an opportunity to meet other people, this socializing that is possible. So if you have problems understanding what it means, what is more important, as long as you use them together, it works very well. Yeah? If you just focus on extrinsic values, it becomes shallow. There are coming unethical effects in there. Think of yourself 60 years from now, 70 years from now, you are laying on your deathbed. You have made peace that you're going to die in a few days. Yeah? What will it be that you remember in this moment? The points that you collected on your frequent flyer program? The money that you earned that now somebody else gets? Yeah? No, not really. You're thinking more or less on that side of the world. The experiences that you've made, the people that you've met, the relationships that you had, and that's what you see. Extrinsic rewards actually interfere a lot with our capabilities. The more you throw extrinsic rewards like money at people, the worse they actually perform. That maybe not what you think, what you thought. Scientific studies for the last 40, 50 years showed it clearly. The scientific community, this is an established fact. In the business world, we think it works. Yeah? So let me give you an example. The candle problem. So here the task is to mount this candle on the wall and have it lighten up. And you have a box of tag, you have matches, and you have that here. The table goes away, yeah? How would you mount it? What is your suggestion? Those of you who have never seen that, yeah? That example. How would you get it up? What would you try? Yeah. Exactly. That is one of these things that people try. It doesn't work, unfortunately. Yeah. Good. First example, first trial. Yeah. Yeah. Also, good idea. Also doesn't work. The candle is really heavy. Yeah. Yeah. Also doesn't work. No, because you have to lighten it up. Yeah. You have to lighten it up. Yeah.
Most of the candle burn down so it doesn't weigh as much. And
for that you need a lot of time, but when I tell you have to do it in 5 minutes, or you cut it. Yep. So the solution is, and most people that get this task have it within 3-5 minutes or so, because they try out and then fail and try something else, and then they realize actually that the box is not functional fixed. Yeah, you can use the box as well, yeah, for that thing. Now. When they go ahead and ask people and tell people, okay, do that, but if you do it, you get $5. If you succeed with that, you get $5. And if you succeed faster than the others, at the average, yeah, then you get $20. What do you think happens? The people who are getting rewarded, promised the reward, take twice as much time. Because their focus suddenly gets on the money, getting this reward, and suddenly, in this phase where you need to actually diverge with your ideas, with the number of ideas that you have to come up there, they're converging. And they're getting so fixed on these solutions that they are so mentally blocked with that interferes with their creativity. And this is just one of hundreds of examples that that scientists have experimented all over the world with animals, with kids, with adults, and I show you now a video of how rewards interfere with certain people.
So that's the experiment we did. Recently, we videotaped with new monkeys who never done the task and thinking that maybe they would have a stronger reaction, and that turned out to be right. The one on the left is a monkey who gets cucumber. The one on the right is the one who gets grapes. The one who gets cucumber, note that the first piece of cucumber is perfectly fine. The first piece she eats. Then she sees the other one getting grape and you'll see what happens. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now. Gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. And she gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here.
So you get what you do. What are the purposes of gamification? To engage people, for example, to do things timelier, like entering your times in a timesheet, do that faster. Or teaching, learning about a new technology in a more fun way and keep more information and do that in a simulation where you have an immersive experience. Do that for entertaining your employees or your customers or your loyal fans. In this case, our fans, by doing kind of a crowdsourced prediction of soccer results. To measuring employees or measuring customers. In this case, figuring out by building up this wobbly structure to this sphere, with that sphere interfering, figuring out if this person is able to learn, to be persistent, to collaborate with others, etc. And now let's come to a larger definition. Enterprise gamification empathizes with people, so we look at their motivations and interests, add gameful experiences to work and life, to help these people fulfill their interests and their motivations, which indirectly benefits the all involved parties. Make work or life more fun, or when gamification happens when business and games have sex. Let's take a look at the video.
Sex video.
No, you wish.
Shallow has a problem. The summer heat is killing her. She is thinking of ways of how she can cool off. For instance, with a fan. But she is a cat. She wants others to work for her. Luckily, there is Rupert, the dog. She doesn't like him, but his wagging tail would be a perfect place for the fan. However, he is not going to do that for free. So she puts out an incentive. Tasty milk. But what's going on now? He is doing nothing. How about catnip? Salome loves that. But Rupert still doesn't show any reaction. How can she get Rupert to do what she wants? He doesn't like milk. He doesn't like catnip. So what does he like? A bone. Well, that works. He is wagging his tail, and she gets her cooling off. But after the third bone, Rupert stops wagging. He is full and doesn't feel rewarded anymore. Now Salome has an even better idea. She knows that he loves chasing squirrels and can do that for hours. So, Salome makes a video of a squirrel and mounts a monitor on the treadmill. Then she puts Rupert on the treadmill and connects it to an electric fan. What a success! Salome has just learned that engaging Rupert with the wrong incentive does not work. An extrinsic reward works better, but only for a short time. But when she piques his interest, she is able to keep him engaged for a long time, and for her benefit.
So some more about extrinsic and intrinsic motivators and rewards. Why do we do gamification? Because reality is, as we can see, the worst game ever. We're not really getting feedback. We don't know how to level up properly. Like this gentleman here. This gentleman has here everything. He has a keyboard. He has a mouse. He has a headset. He has a three-dimensional graphic rendering engine called Windows. He's ready to tackle everything. But whatever comes there once a day maybe is the neighbor's cat that he could tackle. Now let's take a look at some real-life examples. These are loyalty programs. Loyalty programs are actually gamified systems because they nudge you into certain behaviors. What kind of behaviors? Points. What do the points do? Discounts, buying behavior. What kind of buying behavior? Exactly, so that they come repeatedly and repeatedly and again and again and again. Yeah? That you fly again and again with the same airline, even if it's a crappy airline, but that's where your miles are, right? Or even if you don't like the coffee, but you already have 7 of them and you want to get to the 10th one to drink more of this ugly coffee. So basically people bribing you into these behaviors. Yeah? Or TurboTax, did you know that it's a gamified system? Yeah. So basically what you have here, you say the federal and California and states, yeah, and it's like you know, you enter these things, yeah, and then you see the numbers going up, yeah, it's like a pinball, slot machine, yeah, like a slot machine that I have here, this stuff getting up, and it tells you also, let's see what we can do. Do you have any dependents? Do you have a mortgage to pay back? Yeah, let's see how we can get this up. And at the end of that, 2 or 3 years ago, when I finally filed the taxes, it said, ka-ching, you did it. There was a pop-up that said, ka-ching, you did it. I felt so well. Can I do another tax return? Or if you drive an electric vehicle or a hybrid vehicle, you have this here. I have so many friends taking pictures of that and posting that on Facebook. 1,000 miles, no gas station so far. Yeah. Or some now build it even in. You have these pedestals with a trophy that you can get. Or this car here, a Nissan Leaf, has this ball in the middle. So and if you drive fuel efficient, this ball is in the middle and then you're great, you're doing great. But if you're accelerating too fast, yeah, burning rubber, it's not good, you're wasting energy. And if you're braking too hard, you're also wasting fuel. So some people are so focused on keeping that ball in the middle that they sometimes forget to brake, right? And then they total their car, crash their car, everything, but the averages are great. This here is Fiat, this little Fiat car. So all the Fiat drivers of that car are living in this virtual city. And here the carbon dioxide savings, 700,000 kilogram. And this is enough fuel to heat the town of all these Fiat drivers for 6 days. Or here, this Ford car, this was done by IDEO, designed by IDEO. Here are digital plants growing. Yeah? So if you drive well, these plants are blooming and flourishing. If you're not driving well, it's going down and ashing down. Now you would think, who cares about fucking flowers? Digital flowers. Yeah? So let's talk about Farmville. Remember Farmville? Yeah? In the heydays, 85 million people played Farmville. And what is Farmville? Nothing else than growing digital plants and crops and flowers, right? Yeah. So this is something that people really like because it's decorating. And decorating is one of these motivators that are there. Just think of people that you know, mostly women, who decorate their homes nicely and all this kind of thing. It's very motivating for a lot of people. So they're not just their homes, but also their desks, their works, their background images that they have, and why not also their cars. Or you may know eBay or Stack Overflow. They have also rating systems. They have systems that help you build up a reputation. This is exactly the same way, again, gamification, because it helps that you share more information, help other people, get a reputation, be exposed as expert, get contacted by media maybe, or be recognized on the street, etc. Amazon, we've seen that. There are a couple of elements in here. Nike Plus, yeah. When you go jogging, yeah, you go running, you see all these technical elements. Oops, sorry. You have, how was your run? You rate it, you see technical stuff. you can challenge somebody, you see here the colors, and at the end of a run, you hear the voice of a famous athlete, Tim DeBow, or somebody like that, telling you, great Mario, great that you did it, hope to see you tomorrow again. If this is too technical for you, you can use Zombies Run, which uses a narrative which says, you're living in a zombie-infested world, and once a day you have to get out of a zombie shelter and collect batteries and food and all this kind of stuff, yeah? And once you start running, you hear in the background, it's zombies, yeah? The zombie voices. And if they're getting louder, you know they're closer to you, so you have to run faster. And at the end of the run, you have little spikes in there, in this run. That's how you should do that. A video. The 3-second shrimps. Shit crazy, huh? So this is a simple task done in a very different way, yeah? So if you have heard of Rube Goldberg machines, yeah, where the more complicated the way you get to reach your goal is, that's basically what games are doing, yeah? Let's think of golf, for example. What is the goal of golf, of playing golf? The core mission here. What is the core goal? Put the ball in the hole. So let's put the ball in the hole, yeah? Is this fun? Not really. So what we do, we build up obstacles in between and make rules that seem arbitrary, actually. Yeah? So we say you cannot, the ball is 500 meters from the hole. You cannot put it with the hand in there. You have to use a stick, which is awkward, right? We call it club. We put rocks, lakes, trees, sand bunkers in between, and suddenly it's fun. Yeah? That's what they did here. So gamification is something that helps us to engage people. And why are we doing that? So when we look at work, Gallup polls every year hundreds of thousands of people on how much they are engaged at work. And it turns out that in the US, 30% of people are engaged at work. Those are the people that work with passion and feel profound connection to their company. They drive innovation and move the organization forward. These are these people that you want to have, right? But 52% are not engaged. These are the people who just do as being told, not more, not less. And then you have the actively disengaged people, 18%. These are basically the Wallis, yeah, Dilberts, Wallis. They actually sabotage the company. They cost you money. You may think that's a great number, that's a bad number, 30%, but it's actually the largest number. All the other countries have lower numbers. And we are trying now with gamification to engage more people on that. So here's also a sheet of the other countries, of some of the other countries, and you can really see of how it partly goes down. China is like 6%, or France has 9% of engaged people.
Do you know how the engagement measured?
From Asia?
Yeah, how do they measure?
So they poll, I think, I've not read that up. I cannot. What they do is they do a survey and they ask a couple of questions that they then use for calculating engagement levels. Yeah. So they have been doing that for 20, 30 years. So it's very consistent over the time in lots of countries, as you can see. But you'd have to, in this slide deck, I have at the bottom in the notes a link to the original study. So you can always follow up their sources and their methods of how they do that. Now some examples. This is Chennai Express, which was an Indian movie. Who has seen that? You've seen it? You can watch it on YouTube, actually. It's fully on YouTube up there. And there was a marketing campaign built around that. And this was the largest tweeted movie at that point. Yeah. There were like 10 times as many tweets for example, than any other Hollywood movie at the same time had. And they crossed, what was it? They crossed the billion user interaction with that movie through social media. Or here is a marketing campaign that used, instead of the capture, used this kind of, you had to drag this car along this line to test to show that you're human. You know, that was Ford, playthrough it was called. Now promoting some other things such as traffic safety is of course also important, and here's a video for that. Oh, what happened?
Watch me dance now. Smart.
Promoting traffic safety. There are some other simpler ways of promoting stuff that people are doing. In this case, this was a recruiting company that had interactions with their clients, and for every interaction that a team had, they got, like having a meeting, having a call with them, they got a Lego piece, a Lego brick, yeah? And when they closed the deal, they got either a window or a door. And at the end, the team had to build a Lego house. And there were 6 teams, and they built all these Lego houses. And you see how people even, you know, build a swimming pool in the bikini girl. And then they had a motorbike that they put up there. And then once they had built the house, they were all walking around in the room and rating the houses. Yeah? And those who had the best looking, who won some prizes. It went for 5 months and motivated the people. They also looked in the rooms of the others, how far are they with the house, what are they building, and so on. And then they went ahead and did that. That costs like $50, $100 to buy these Lego pieces, and you have a gamified thing to engage people. Then we have a SAP sales car race in order to get things done, to promote teams to sell better. This is not displayed in a leaderboard, but it's displayed as race cars that are driving around. You know, Germans are racing crazy, yeah, Formula 1 and so on. And with all the company cars and German engineering cars that they have, this fit very well with those type of people. Or you can go really extreme to a very high cost place where you use, in this case, a CRM system was meshed up with CryENGINE. This is like Unity 3D, a tool in the video game space that allows you to build games. And CryENGINE CryTech is a company in Frankfurt, and they meshed up a CRM system, a customer relationship management system. So this is not your grandfather's customer relationship management system. You basically see a virtual world of your country with the customer and see this information. And if there are problems like this cloud over there, this smoke says, oh, there's some problems burning here, and so on. So this is where it can go. You have these extremes from Lego pieces to $1 million expensive three-dimensional worlds for your system. It's used in compliance training, for example. A company called TrueOffice, which was bought by the NASDAQ afterwards, they sell compliance training software. So when you want to go through compliance training like financial fraud, security, sexual harassment training, etc., it's very boring. A lot of law text. Nobody wants to do that. So what do? They bring it in a story, like financial fraud. Yeah, who stole the money? Yeah, and suddenly you're a detective, Inspector Columbo or Agatha Christie, and do something here and go through that. And suddenly people played that and were interested in figuring that out, how this works. With kids, you can also do that. School cafeteria. How can you get kids to eat more vegetables and fruits? Yeah, by giving them a story. Every day the teachers told them a part of a longer story. And if enough kids then afterwards ate vegetables and fruits in the cafeteria, only if they cross a threshold, they were told on the next day the sequel of the story. Yeah? And it turns out that it was very popular. The kids really ate like crazy all these things in order to listen to the next part of the story. Here's another video making a little bit advertising through a gameful way. Again, something completely against conventional wisdom. They make the shopping process not easier, but make it more difficult, but turn it through that activity into fun. How do we do now gamification? How is the process? You probably know, most of you know design thinking. We use the same process. So we start with empathizing, looking at our players, who are the people, what are they trying to achieve. We define the problem, we ideate around potential solutions. This is an iterative process, so we may go back to empathizing and looking again at the users. We prototype, we test. Here are some pictures from some things that we've done. So this is a call center agent that we were talking to, and then looked at pictures and her cubicle of how it looked like. So we saw a couple of things like her baby and travel maps that she had there. This gives us clues of how we can design that for her at her journey on through that system, maybe make a virtual travel through it. We define the players by finding out the different things about them. We write a persona, basically. we ideate around ideas. So this was a team from General Electrics. They used Lego pieces and other stuff, board games that we had to mash up and come up with ideas, and then they had to explain it to others. And these are the exercises that they really like because they figure it out. This empowers them really. They see the other teams of how creative they are, and they're astonished of how creative the team that I'm in can be. Yeah, this is often a surprise for them. Then they prototype, put it up there on the easel, and test it with the players. Play testing that we do, and then comes a phase where we finally then, if we know now how the design look like, we implement it, we launch it, we fine tune it. So a process, a gamification project is not a project; it's a process. Once we launch it, it starts, because then people are starting to cheat, to use certain things and do stuff. Unethical things are happening, positive things are happening, so we build it in and so on and operate it. Here's another one of the last videos before we come to Q&A. A super boring process, going to the gas station. Not a good idea, right? But I remember when I came over here, I was also doing that. Yeah, I was also standing like that. I stopped in the meantime. So what are we doing? We are doing gamification consulting. We also help with implementation, with the strategic side, with doing workshops. We teach that stuff. We also bring in frameworks and tools. Basically explains a lot about how gamification works with listing 200 studies and 40 books that are read on these things, and try to compile here and give you a framework of how to do gamification. I have 6 more books, in total 7 on gamification, more to specific areas: human resources, banking and financials, community and innovation management, sales and support, healthcare and fitness, and an introductory book together with a co-worker with Janaki from SAP. Had I worked back then. These 5 books here are more like a catalog of examples for that space with some more details on that space. Well, this is really learning all the fundamentals of that thing. One more video I wanted to show you, because I'm always rich with videos, and how broad the application of gamification can be. How to get people to throw a trash. Okay, so there's more stuff online on gamification, how it is used. Generally, this is a workshop. these are online workshops for using gamification parenting in the parenting space, and then something about innovation, which is an interesting thing. We also wrote industry report on gamification, comparing 12 universal gamification platforms and technologies that can help you to implement gamification. We did another report on sales gamification platforms. You may have heard that Microsoft just bought a sales gamification company called, the product was called Fantasy Sales Teams, which I personally found out of the 24 is the best one for that space. So they bought it and integrated now with Microsoft CRM Dynamics. And I do some other stuff as well, like entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur at SAP and help innovation. And now I'm carrying that and bringing that to mostly European companies and helping them to understand how the Silicon Valley is so innovative and how to foster these entrepreneurs inside your company. And we are using basically a lot of different techniques in this kind of matrix. And if you want to contact me, here's my email address. Here's more of my information, my LinkedIn, and so on. With that, without further ado, any questions?
Well, first, I want to thank you for sharing all that. It was very interesting and fun. Do you have any material or anything that can help business development? So I see a lot of things inside company to motivate the sales team to reach goals. But how to get the other party engaged, the other company, into playing the game with you?
Let's go a step back. There are gamified sales applications and approaches to that, and I have a collection of them. I have a whole book on that thing. So it does not mean that you gamify here the business partner, yeah, or your future customer. Actually, people say, or the kind of thinking or consensus between gamification designers is not to gamify the sales process for the customer, just for the sales teams. Give them feedback of how well they're doing and that they are doing activities repeatedly in order to get to the success, but not put obstacles in the way of often the people that you talk to may not be the right people to gamify. So I had this approach when, how can we gamify the CIO to buy our software? That's the wrong side, yeah, because what you get is he's not testing it himself or herself. They are relying on their employees testing the IT guys to test it out. So if you aim at somebody, then it would be them. And then the question is, what is it that you could do here? And is it helping them understand it better? For example, a gamified training kind of thing, or a pitch so that they get a fast overview over that and become more comfortable with that? Or is it something else that the ease of use and installation of that system gives them an idea? When you look today, so I see it as an example. I myself, a little small entrepreneur, needs a CRM system. Of course, I'm not buying these big SAP installations, yeah, but I'm going and look at cloud solutions. And if I cannot understand a cloud solution within 5 minutes, I don't like it, I go to the next one. So here needs to be the point to gamify me, to give me this feeling that I'm clever, that I'm smart, that I'm able to use that thing and not tell me all the time I'm a stupid idiot because I'm not getting it. Yeah, so this is where you would start approaching that. Yeah, and then you look at whatever clients or potential customers you have or leads you have to look at how do we do that there. Yeah, is this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you. More questions? Where this gentleman?
I was just going to ask if you have a game for learning to gamify things better.
I think not me. So I use in the workshops a lot of examples where we've seen videos, which is kind of a fun thing. But in the workshops, I use a lot of exercises with time pressure and these kind of things. I've not put the material in a way out there that it's like a board game or that it's a gamified system. I know some other game designers, gamification designers have started something like that, but only small elements of that. But of course, training is a very popular place for using gamification. This can be done in multiple ways. One is to take the course that you have and gamify the whole course. like a 2-hour course that you have and gamify that, or that you take a framework, you have already 3,000 courses, and put a framework around that and let the people march through the courses and give them ideas of how they can do better. But actually, this is something that you actually may throw away, and may want to throw away in the future, because what you actually want to do, and we have seen it with this example of the stationary bikes, there was no training going on. There is no training for Angry Birds. You're not going to 2 weeks training in order to play Angry Birds. They're onboarding you. That means that a gamification designer or trainer has to actually be at the beginning of a product development cycle in order to build a product or help design a product that allows you to onboard smoothly. An example is Sony. Sony created the Sony Evolution UI for the Android phone, where you rate yourself as a beginner, as an intermediate or as advanced user of that thing. And when you tag yourself as a beginner, then you get only a limited feature set on that phone turned off or turned on. And once you are working and showing that you mastered them, new features are being unlocked. Now imagine yourself doing that with a CRM system or with a website, where instead of showing this complexity of that stuff, you are having to do first actions in order to unlock that. And that way, it becomes also safer, that system, and people are more motivated not to screw up, because it takes hard work to level up and get all the feature sets open for me. Yeah. I have probably 120, 150 examples on my site on gamified training and examples. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Here was a question. One second. Yeah. 1, 2. Yeah. No, he has the microphone. You have to get the microphone. So without the microphone,
I got the stick. It's a game. You got to get the stick first.
Yeah.
So here's the question. So it sounds like the gamification is about nudging people to do certain behaviors more. Do you have any thoughts on how to determine which behaviors lend themselves well for gamification, and how you want to kind of pick the things that you want to make more difficult?
I see 2 parts in that question. Yeah, the first is we are nudging them into certain behaviors. It sounds a little bit like we are doing something to the players. Yeah, while we may want to give them under certain circumstances, you want to give them the degrees of freedom to do what they want, but be able to achieve the goal. Just set them the goal. And what they do in between could be different. It's like in games where I can freely move through the world and take as much time as I want in order to achieve that. Sometimes then there is a more directed where we really nudge them along the line. Yeah, Disney World is such a design basically. Yeah, where when you enter Disney World, where do you go first? You go to the castle, because that's where you see it, yeah? And that was the intentional design. This is where the main stream of people goes. So this is doing something to people, nudging behaviors. Now, selecting behaviors depends on what you actually want to achieve. It's not so much about which of the 5 or 15 behaviors are better. It's, I want them to do more, yeah? I want them to do it faster. That's the behavior that I want to change. And there could be many, many more of these. And then it depends on who are my players and what are the means to do that. It could be really that the same problem that I have, I could tackle that through multiple approaches. Jogging is such an example. Nike Plus is one. Zombies Run, we've seen it. There's Runtastic, which uses a very social element in there, is another one. They are all gamified, but with very different approaches to that. And Nike works for me, Zombies Run does not work for me. Runtastic I haven't tried. I know a lot of people who use that. I hope that answered a little bit the question. Yeah? So now you get a microphone.
You win.
Okay. So my question's kind of broad, but so in your opinion, what industry is most successfully or most effectively adopted gamification, and what industry or kind of segment do you believe is maybe shown the least or maybe surprisingly zero adoption of gamification?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on our Wiki, I've collected over the last 3 or 4 years probably 500, 600 examples in 80, 90 categories. The books are kind of a reflection of where I have the most examples so far, with the exception of education. Education is really beyond any means. There are hundreds of examples. Yeah. So healthcare is certainly one. There are also like 2,000 serious games and applications out there that are gamified. There's a meta study looking at 2,500 serious apps, gamified apps, just for looking at how much is out there. Education training is really used a lot. Many good teachers already used gamification beforehand, like unintentionally. Yeah? You know, what is the... In every game, in every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. Yeah, that is. What's the name of that movie? You know, should know that. No. It's an American movie. Damn, I don't get it. In every job that must be done, there's an element of fun. This lady with the umbrella. Yeah, what's the name of that movie?
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. It's late in the evening. Yeah, exactly. So here she used gamified elements in there. Of course, you didn't call it back then. Now there are some other areas where it's not yet used. I see a lot of need not in the industry, but basically in the blue collar space. What we've seen is a lot of digital solutions aiming at often white-collar workers, CRM systems and so on, but blue-collar workers, like think of people standing at the conveyor belt or in a car manufacturing. They do basically the same things over and over again. Car company, you stand there, do 7 bolts, measure these things, and they do it for 2 or 3 years alone. You're burning out. There's nothing happening, not challenging. And there is a need to do something here. Yeah? So it's not one industry, it's across industries. It's more that way. Retail? So maybe retail or restaurant business, yeah. Restaurant business, I'm actually going to speak in a month at a restaurant conference exactly about that, because this is the largest untrained sales force and they don't really get feedback. Yeah. Service industry, basically hotels, roommates, and so on. And this is often done very wrong. Basically, these managers or people have no empathy for the roommates, and they punish them for every act. This is not a fun game if you are getting punished all the time. Or put them on leaderboards, these poor women that you mostly have there. So these are some areas where I see some need also out of a personal interest, because I come from a blue-collar family, and I see that as an important aspect. Do you have another question? Or?
Yeah, really quick, and this is kind of a little trivial, but in your opinion, what's the dividing line between novelty and gamification?
Novelty and gamification?
In terms of maybe marketing, or what basically, if something's like, so I was thinking about this, for example, I don't know if you've heard, like Coors Light makes those cans and they turn blue when you put them in the fridge. Would you consider something like that some form of gamification, or is that just simple novelty?
Good question. Does it change behaviors? Maybe people buy more. It's more a fun element. Yeah, I would say it's a fun element that gives it, but it's turning down quickly. Yeah, so you cannot really. There's not really much more. It's more a cool. I wouldn't call it gamification. Yeah, it's more fun. Maybe also, to the question, I understood it originally wrong. Novelty is gamification, a buzz, a hype that goes away, and we haven't talked about that. What games do is they collect data on players, because in order to reward you, to level you up, they need to know of how well you were doing, how often you've done that, and reward you. Now, at work, we've seen there's nothing like that. Yeah, we are not really tracking data. World of Warcraft, Halo, they have much better data on their players than employees have, than big billion-dollar companies have on their employees. So player stats sheet that you have here, that don't exist at work. Now, bringing this in, you sneak in also big data, basically, on your employees, on your customers. And that means once I have the data, I have a competency profile, a skill profile of my employees. I know who is good in project management. I know who is in ABAP or Java programming, on what level, and I can much better bring the teams together. So once I have that data, it changes the performance review process, it changes the way of how I promote people, and I'm not going to take away that feature and that functionality. So gamification is here to stay.